we don't really help generations behind us to get to higher levels that we may or not achieve. So that's really my goal. It's not necessarily where I'm going to be, but to be a step ladder for others.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the interrogation room. My name is Dale. I'm the host of the Black and Blue Podcast. I appreciate you for joining me here today because I got somebody all the way from the other side of the country, from California, where I'm at. He is an officer in the state of Delaware. Please help me welcome in my man, Anthony Carter. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm okay.
All right. What's going on out there in Delaware?
Not too much. Same old everywhere, I assume.
Right. So how you dealing with the COVID-19 stuff going on right now?
Yeah, we're doing the best we can, man. Taking preventative measures and just doing that thing, you know.
Yeah. Anybody you know's been stricken with it yet, or?
Yeah, a couple friends, but no cops yet. Just a couple of neighboring agencies, but we're doing okay, I think, right now, so far.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, got to protect yourself, and I'm getting over a little something myself. I don't think it was that, because it was only a day.
Yeah,
it was only a
Never
day.
know.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe I got a strong immune system that only worked on it for a day, but yeah, you got to be careful, man. Protect yourself. So you out in Delaware? Were you born out there? Were you raised out there? How long you been in Delaware?
I've been in Delaware most of my life. I was born in California, but most of my life I've been here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And your agency, is it a large agency, a small agency?
It's fair enough. I'd say medium-sized agency.
Medium-sized agency. And what do you do there?
I'm just a patrol officer.
Patrol, okay. And how long have you been with your department?
I've only been in my department about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. But I was with another agency, fairly large agency, for about 6.5 years.
Okay, in the same state or elsewhere?
Yes, same
state. Okay. All right. What drew you to law enforcement in the first place?
If I'm being 100% honest, it wasn't something I thought. I came out of the Marine Corps and then went to college and everything. And by and large, I felt like it was my job to defend people. And as a Black American, I felt like it was my obligation. And applied and I got it. That's really how the story started.
Right. And what about your job really makes you, get up and say, yeah, I love that part of my job?
I like interacting with people. It can be tough at times, but I say anything at all. I'd say the fact that I feel like I deal with things a little bit differently than some other people can deal with things.
How's that?
Well, I have the gift of gab, which helps a lot of things, but at the same time, I have a different perspective than some people would have. So with that being said, I think that I can bring a different perspective than some other people in certain environments. And I think with that alone, I feel like those environments, those communities need a different voice or a different kind of policing that I can provide.
Right.
Like that.
Okay. All right. And does your department have a good number of African Americans in it?
I would say that we're definitely growing. I don't know what a decent number would be, maybe a reflection of the community, but I say we're growing and we're doing okay. I'd probably say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say a good amount.
Right. Okay. I've got some preconceived notions of Delaware as a whole. There probably wouldn't be as many African Americans in Delaware, although I told you off air that I had some I got some cousins from Delaware. I think it was Wilmington, but
Oh yeah, probably.
yeah. Well, what's your perspective on the population there in Delaware?
Well, there's definitely a fair amount. I think it's undersold in Delaware. Even Delaware's kind of a small state, maybe misunderstood, but yeah, there's actually a fair amount of African Americans and or Black Americans in Delaware, and a reflection in the police community may or may not, but there actually is a fair amount, believe it or not. Wilmington definitely a huge population, and then Delaware and surrounding communities, there's definitely a good amount.
Right. What about other ethnicities? Are there Hispanic population, Asian populations?
Down south, there definitely is a huge Hispanic population. I would say more up north is the Black community. I'd say in the middle is kind of a conglomerate of everybody. And downstate, I'd say you have a little bit of everybody as well, but you obviously also have a large Hispanic community as well down there.
Okay, all right. And you say you served in the Marine Corps.
I served in the Marine Corps. I'm also in the Army now, in the Army Guard, yes.
Okay, in the Army Guard now. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
I do it for us,
Yes, sir. How long have you been doing this?
I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years. I did 5 years active, 1 year reserve, and then I've done about 6 years Army Guard.
Wow, you're putting it all in, huh?
And sometimes it feels that way,
Yeah. And then you said you went to college as well?
Yeah, I went to Del State, and then I'm in Wilmington University now.
Okay, all right. What's your field of study?
Organizational management is where I went to.
Okay, all right.
And I like business, I like leadership, so it's kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah. That's what I'm working on mine as well. My master's in that as well. So, good deal. How far along are you?
I did 3.5 years, and then I got the county job where I initially started law enforcement. And once I got that, I kind of took a break to do the academy. I had to do it twice because I got hurt halfway through. And then I've been kind of piping along here, and then I joined the Army. So it's kind of been an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
But I'm about the end of this thing.
Yeah. You just gotta be persistent. Sounds like you're being persistent on it.
I'm trying, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
All right. Honest. And I hear some little ones in the background there. What do you got behind you?
Yeah, they're doing an egg drop in the rest of the house. Actually, the door's closed, but they're kids. So
Yeah. So what do you got there?
Well, I have a daughter, and her cousins are over.
Okay.
And they're doing an egg drop off the balcony of my house. So they're gonna do
like a real eggs, or what are they doing?
Yeah, they're wrapping it in some kind of contraption, and then they're gonna drop it. See who survives.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I think I remember doing something like that. Right.
Sure, absolutely.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Did you play any sports in college or high school?
Oh, high school, not anything in college, but high school definitely I played a lot of sports.
Okay.
I would say I was necessarily great in any of them. I was good in, I'd say, most of them. But I played softball, or not softball. I played football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse.
Lacrosse, huh?
Lacrosse probably my favorite. Obviously we're a minority in lacrosse, but I did very well.
Yeah. What's basically it's basically kind of like football, soccer.
It's football and soccer together. That's probably the best. Maybe a little hockey, but that's probably the best I would say it is. But aggressive sport, but like soccer in regards to always moving. But I was defender, so I love it. Probably my favorite sport.
Is there a pro league in lacrosse, or?
I don't know if there's a pro league. I know they have, and in college sports, they have club sports. They have some club sports even up here in Delaware. It's bigger on the East Coast. I wouldn't say there's a pro. I don't think there's a pro aspect to this. No.
Okay. So after college, that's about it for lacrosse for most people.
Again, I'm speaking from in ignorance, but I would say no. There's no pro part of it now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you did that mostly through high school and.
Oh yeah. Most of my high school career, I did lacrosse. It was a great time.
All right. So you're on patrol now at your department, and what do you like about being on patrol in your department?
I mean, I've been on patrol for over 8 years. I do love it. I mean, obviously the big thing was switching from departments. It kind of set me back. So, I love interacting with people.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of cliche, but as a black officer, obviously it creates some kind of creates some issues sometimes. You go black communities, they think that they have their opinions of you. When you go white communities, they have their opinions of you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like, and personally, I feel like it's my job as a Black American to do my part, because people did it before me, which gave me the road to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's my job to not be angry at how the way things are, because I've been to obviously complaints where I'm not favored, and obviously complaints where I'm more favored. But mostly it's kind of like in between. Where I'm just kind of neglected. They don't want me, but at the same time, I'm a pilot in the Army Guard. So it's like, I kind of deal with it there too, or kind of being like a minority in those things. And just like the Tiki Airmen did before us, and black officers before us, dealing with real issues, it's my obligation to do my little small part to push us along for the next guy.
Right. So you said you're a pilot in the National Guard, huh?
Yes, I'm just a helicopter pilot. Yeah.
Okay. You fly helicopters? How long you been
Yes,
doing
sir.
that?
I guess now you think about it, I guess it's been about 4 years. Yeah.
Wow. You plan on doing that in the police department as well, or?
That's the goal, more or less. See wherever it takes me. But yeah, I like to do that. Yeah.
Do you need a special license, or are you licensed to do it?
Oh yeah,
away from the military?
I'm definitely FAA qualified, where most pilots are. But as far as policing is concerned, I don't know the necessary standards in regards to flying. But obviously, FAA license is the end all be all, and I am qualified for FAA. Yes.
Okay. Is there a certain qualification of a helicopter you need for your job in the police?
Not necessarily. There's instrument qualifications. There's regular. There's a VFR instrument, which basically is two different modes of flying. I'm qualified with both. For the Army, obviously, I'm flying a very powerful helicopter.
Yeah,
and
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little one bigger than mine, but it's pretty powerful helicopter. But I fly MVGs. I've also been deployed as a medevac pilot. So I wouldn't say I'm the most qualified. I wouldn't say I'm well qualified, but I'm okay qualified for the job.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely qualified to fly in our state.
Okay. So you're just getting all those hours in with the National Guard and
trying. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Trying.
So you go out once a month, right?
No, it's different for aviators and the Guard. We have to fly at least to get your hours at least once a week. I try to fly a couple times a week. Obviously, the outbreak has been a little bit different here, but I try to fly a couple times a week, at least 4 or 5, sometimes more, a month. So it's not like a traditional guardsman. It's
Right.
Yes, you have to keep your hours, so you have to fly a lot more often.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're getting the hours, getting the experience, and yeah,
Try.
a lot of time up in the air. Yeah. Good
A lot
deal.
of time
Yeah.
away from home. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. I hope you achieve that goal at some point.
Thank you.
Is there like a succession that you know of that maybe you got to be an observer before you can actually be a pilot, or?
Well, it depends on the state, obviously, for whatever their needs are. Obviously, Black Americans aren't prevalent in this profession, but it depends on the state, what their needs are, what the candidate is, if they can pass the test necessary. But it's different than Guard versus active duty in the military. But as long as you have the drive and you have the aptitude to do the thing, most states will present you the opportunity, which is great. So,
Yeah.
They provided me a great opportunity. But I am one of 2, and the other one is a general. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he doesn't fly much. So I'm pretty much, one of 2 in the state
No,
that
nice.
fly in my particular state. It's not the same in every state, but it's rare that we enter this kind of profession. Yes.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. Good stuff. So as far as taking that over to the police department, where you at? You guys have an air division?
Yes, sir. We do have a medevac division. Yes, sir.
All right, so hopefully you can get on board with that at some point.
Humbly, yes, I hope
Yeah.
so. But it's up to them if they think I'm qualified to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And if that's not in the cards for you, what other sort of thing would you like to do?
I like to do investigations based on the first department that I was part of. They're big on that, and I think after a time, I think that I've had enough time on the road. I think I like to do that, and then we'll see where the department takes me. I'm just glad they provide me this opportunity.
All right. And so your time on the road, are you working days or nights? What are you working now?
Well, in our state, it's a little bit of both. So it's not like based on seniority, you do a little bit of both no matter what. Some days and nights.
Yeah. Okay. That's how my department is. We rotate every 2 months. So
Sure.
Everybody feels the love. Everyone gets weekends off. Everyone gets nights. Everyone gets days. So it's cool
Sure.
because if you like a schedule, don't get too attached to it because you won't be on it too long.
That's right.
And if you hate a schedule, don't worry, you won't be on it too long. So
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. I don't mean to divert you, but it's a great thing to see this kind of program. I've never seen it like this. I've never done anything like this, and it's nice to see. I think you're doing great things, and I appreciate it.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So what sort of changes have you seen in law enforcement in general for African Americans in your time being a cop? Have you seen it change for the better?
It's hard to say that quantitatively, but I would say that we're definitely more accepted than we ever were. As far as our communities are concerned, I would say there's still going to be that apprehension, but at the same time, there's some times where they identify more with me because of my ethnicity. But at the same time, it's in the reverse. Sometimes it's very negative. They think that I'm sure you've dealt with it.
Yeah.
But it's an absolute reverse where it's more negative than it ever could be positive. And I'll just leave it at that because of who we are and where we come from. But I think it's a great thing of us doing it. I think that it's obviously law enforcement as a whole is having a hard time with candidates with all ethnicities, but definitely with ours. But I would say it's on the uptick, but that's just very difficult to say explicitly because this is a bad time for law enforcement as a whole.
Yeah, it's tough everywhere, to getting candidates just because, the ideas that are being put out there on social media
Absolutely.
About law enforcement and, so it's tough everywhere, but
sure.
Yeah, we got to keep putting those positive images out there. So it's partly what this program's about. So
sure.
Show the world that, we're more than just robots and we've got feelings and families and likes and dislikes and all that type of stuff.
I try. You're absolutely right.
So sounds like you don't do much. You don't have much time to do anything else off duty. You got the flying you got to do. You got a little one you got to spend time with.
Yeah, I try, but I mean, it's a full plate. If I'm being 100% honest with you, but I try to do other things, but that's pretty much the way it goes. Yeah.
You staying in shape? You still working out?
I work out all the time. I like to say I'm in shape, but you know how that goes. Everybody thinks they're more shape than they are.
Well, there's always going to be somebody in better shape than you.
Yeah.
There's always going to be, but you got to keep staying in shape, keep training, because you never know when you're going to need that.
Yes.
You never know when you're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a special lady in your life?
Oh yeah. I've a girl that I've been with for a long time. She's Hawaiian, and she's been there for me for a long time.
Okay. All right. We moved your camera down. There we go. Did you meet her is she part of the military or?
No, not at all. She was, I was stationed in Hawaii for a long time. That's where I met her.
Okay. In Hawaii, that was a tough assignment, huh?
It was a second choice. Being a Marine Corps, you never know if you're going to get the first choice, but it actually worked out in my favor. So, yeah.
Well, what was the first one?
California, but they got 29 Palms. And any Marine knows that's not where you want to be.
No, you do not want to be in 20. No. I think you came out all right.
I definitely came out. I had a blessed career. Absolutely.
All right. So you've been with her since then, and she came with you to Delaware. That's nice.
More or less, absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool. So was she from Hawaii? How's the culture shock?
Yeah, she's Hawaiian.
How's the
Well,
culture shock?
I don't think it's much of a thing for her. If anything, it's more going from good weather all year round to seasonal. But I think she adjusted to it pretty well.
Right, because you guys do get some snow.
Oh yeah, I
Real
love
snow.
my seasons. Oh yeah, I love my season. I did Christmas in Hawaii, and I was like, it's uncomfortable. So
Really?
it's just
Putting lights on palm trees? Really?
yeah,
You
nah,
know, for that? No.
not
No,
at all.
I cannot do snow. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio, but I've been out in California too long. Snow is not one thing I like.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. We live in an area here in Southern California where we can go up to the mountains, up in Big Bear. We can see the
Sure.
snow and then come back down.
That's it.
And we can look at it, throw some snowballs, and say, "Okay, I'm done." We don't have to drive in it. We don't have to shovel it.
I can't do the heat, man. Delaware
Yeah.
gets that bad heat, but I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, it's a dry heat. We say it's a dry heat.
Not around here. It's all humidity.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, in your profession, what's something that you've come across that, you said, "Wow, that was a great job that I did, that I helped this person out." Just something that you could tell us about a good call, investigation, something where you helped out and made a difference.
Making a difference. I mean, obviously we handle a vast majority of different things, and I would say my favorite investigations, if I'm being honest, is your typical fraud or theft complaint where you're able to recover the property or lock somebody up for that, for your older folks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little more vulnerable. That's probably my most rewarding. I've had a couple of instances where children have died on those particular complaints. But I'd say your fraud complaints or your theft complaints where you're able to recover property and give it back to the owner. Those are probably most fulfilling, or the few opportunities I've had where I've actually, I would say, saved a life, preserved a life, did the opioid, the narcotics epidemic. I'd say those are pretty rewarding. But you and I both know how those go.
Yeah.
So I'd say those most rewarding.
Have you had a lot of instances where you come up on somebody who's ODing on that type of stuff, and you had to, like Narcan or whatever you
Many.
had to do?
To say many is a vast understatement.
Wow, yeah.
It's heavy.
It's a
on
big
these
thing on
days.
this side of the country. I'm sure it's big over there too.
Oh, it's huge. Very huge.
Yeah. And what sort of opioids and other drugs you guys seeing over there?
It's definitely the heroin. Then we had the fentanyl. The fentanyl is probably the worst now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all of it's derivatives of the prescription pills, but that's pretty much controlled, but the damage is already done. So definitely a fentanyl issue right now.
Yeah. Are you guys, I know the procedures over here now, like anything white powders, we're not even testing anymore. We just bagging it and send it to the lab.
We still test cocaine, but there is a script that we use if we have something like that. But fentanyl, don't touch for obvious reasons.
Right. Yeah, that stuff will kill you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's a heartbreaking call that you've come on, or the investigation you've done? Of course, mentioning no names, but just something that you can think about where this is just heartbreaking, and you wanted to bring justice to this person, this family, or what have you.
Well, I would say the one that sticks out the most is obviously I had an infant die on me, possibly already deceased when I arrived. That was probably the most memorable and most life-altering, if bringing it home, if I would say. For day-to-day, it's young people. What's the best word to use for a situation like this? But young people entering the system. Not when I say system, not as far as policing, but the pipeline.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed entering. Obviously, in our profession, we can see from the older profession, the middle age to the young age, and to see them entering system, or a young parent having a young child that they had without the resources to take care of them, or do right by them. I don't know if that's proper to say on this kind of thing, but that's probably the most heartbreaking every day to see that. You and I see that every day. That's probably the worst of it is to see a child that's at a deficit, to put it nicely, because of the parents that decide to live their life and have a child.
Yeah.
That's probably the most heartbreaking, if I would be honest.
No doubt. And you run into children in those situations all the time, just about daily.
Oh, I mean, you know how it is, man. I don't know. It's different as any coach, but I highly doubt. I mean, multiple times a day, multiple times a shift. Easily.
Yeah, that's bad stuff, man. Especially with kids, yeah. Because I got kids, you got kids, and when you see that, like you said, it brings it home, and you just want to go home and hug yours, right?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? 5
years. Obviously, in my particular situation, it would be either, and I'd like to think, God blessing, it'd be the aviation unit or CIU, your investigation unit. Mm-hmm. That's where I like to see myself. Problem I see with Black Americans is that we don't really help. I should say this. We don't really help generations behind us to get to higher levels that we may or not achieve.
Yeah.
So that's really my goal. It's not necessarily where I'm going to be, but to be a step ladder for others.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a good size of, I know you mentioned that before, but of African Americans or minorities in general in the administration part of your department?
We have one that's doing obviously the top of the tier, but at the time he's on his way out. So I would say, I want to say my personal opinion, but I would say no.
Okay.
No, I mean, but not. That's not a reflection of the agency. It's more a reflection of our entrance into this kind of profession, if I were to say.
Okay. Yeah. And so you would like to, I'm sure, be part of that. Making decisions, helping, other African Americans, other minorities enter the profession in your department.
Absolutely.
Are you doing anything, any mentorship, any recruiting?
Well, I'm on the chopping block for FTO. Obviously, I switched departments, so it put me in the back of the stack. But that's the entry for me in that regard, to the FTO, and then I like to blossom from there. But switching departments really put me back. But it looks like by the end of the year, I should be able to make some kind of influence. And then I'd like to, it's not really a minority issue for me. It's more of educating minorities than it is a reflection of the community to have minorities in policing. Because if they're not into it, they're not applying, then it's not necessary for them to have necessarily the numbers in the department. Right. It has to be an interest to reflect the advocates.
Yeah. And when you switched departments, you didn't have to go back to an academy, did you?
Oh, I did. I've done many academies, many things in the military. Yeah. I mean, it was abbreviated, but still just as intense, if I could say kindly.
So it was abbreviated because you already had prior law enforcement?
Yes, because of my COPT qualifications in that state. So, yeah.
Okay. And what was abbreviated? How long was it for you?
For me, approximately 6 weeks.
6 weeks. And
yes,
non-abbreviated would have been how long?
I believe it's a little over 6 months.
Yeah. You didn't want to do 6 months again, right?
I mean, no, I wouldn't have. Probably wouldn't have done it, but I went through my academy twice, and then the Marine Corps and the Army and all. I've done a lot, but I don't know if I would.
Yeah. So, on your first academy, where'd you fall out at?
I got tore my ACL at 3 months, so right in between, right in the middle.
Tore your ACL? Did you have to have surgery? And
yes.
Oh, wow.
I didn't replace it.
So how long were you out?
I think I was back in the next academy within a month of surgery.
Oh, okay. Fast healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you finished that one okay? Were you hobbling
Absolutely.
through the PT? Or?
No hobbling. You got to get through it or you don't get through it. And I got through it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And then what's the FTO program over at your current department? How long is it?
Don't quote me because I went through abbreviated, but I believe it's approximately 3 months. Approximately 3 months FTO.
Sounds about the same here. We're 6 month academies and 3 to 4 months for
right.
Yeah. But we're doing like a 6-week for lateral officers. You know, you got some experience.
It sounds about the same.
Yeah, we're just doing a 6-week. You know, this is the way we know you know how to do it, but this is the way we do it.
Exactly.
So basically, that's it. All right, man. Well, I'm glad you finally jumped ship to a spot where you think you can use your talents a little bit better, a little bit more, and hopefully you can get you up in the friendly skies here before too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, or investigations. I love investigations. That's my thing over here. So
me too.
You know, either one, you know, because you can really make a difference. But you know, being up in the sky, I'm sure, is just as good.
It's got its plus and minuses, indeed.
Yeah, I'm sure. You guys don't have a gunship on the side. No. That's the Army.
Yeah, that's the Army. Not where I'm at. I'm a medevac pilot, so I'm just saving lives. That's it.
All right, cool.
Chauffeur.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I'm glad you spent some time with me here, and we finally got this because I know we had some technical difficulties earlier. But
sorry about that.
No worries.
I apologize.
No worries. We got through it. Technical difficulties all day long, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No worries. But again, I appreciate you coming on with me, and I will let you know when this episode comes out. And you be safe out there from the COVID and all this craziness going on out there in the world, brother.
Thank you for what you do, man. I've never seen like this, and I applaud you, man. I will try to follow you and keep up what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. You take care, all right?
All right, you too.
All right, take care. All right, Square Pegs, that's it for this episode of the Black and Blue Podcast. I want to thank my guest from the state of Delaware, Anthony Carter, for coming in and hanging out with me here today. If you enjoyed this episode, you know I got to get this plug in. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Black and Blue Podcast on YouTube or whatever podcast platform you hear my voice today. Also, make sure you check out Black and Blue Live. That's the live version of this show where I bring on cops and community members and we talk about various topics. I do that on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Periscope. So be sure you check that one out. I'll be back next week with another episode right here in the interrogation room. Till then, y'all know what to do. Stay black and blue. I'll holler at you. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.